Hey y'all, it's Niecy Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back. Today we are about to review Ready to Love Season 4, Episode 6, Opposites Attract. Y'all, announcements. One announcement. Today, I am finally going to meet up with our friend, Josiah's World TV, in person, and I'm gonna vlog it. So look for a vlog next week. In other news, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Ready to Love. All right, y'all. So the show starts out and the ladies are meeting with Tommy. He lets us know that this week the power is in the ladies' hands. He doesn't let us know how many, men we are choosing to go home. But y'all know last week they shockingly sent 2 of the ladies home. This week I was like, I know y'all aren't going to send 2 men home because it is going to be even. The task this week is to date someone different. That's the name of the episode, Opposites Attract. I feel like for the most part, everybody did this except, I don't know, Alexis and Ron. That wasn't really an Opposites Attract for me, but I am glad that we got to see them go on a date. Liz and Jason, Opposites Attract. I guess you got a baby, you got a grown-ass woman. So y'all, let's go ahead and get into orders of the dates. So the first date we get is Alexis and Ron. And whenever they meet, y'all, they hugging, he picked her up with her little petite self. And I'm like, okay, the hugs are definitely getting longer. We know that they've been talking on the phone, but this is going to be their first in-person date. And one of the things that leaves Alexis a little bit hesitant about Ron is that she's a church girl. She's a Christian. However, she don't know what level of spirituality Ron is at. Ron explains it like he lives like a rock star. So I don't feel like we really got a true answer of like, I was raised in the church, but I'm not religious, or I don't believe in it at all. But either way it goes, it sounded real good to Alexis. And she was like, yeah, that's why I like you, because you seem like a bad boy. You seem like you can lead, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to say something about the outfit. Shout out to Simply Sakina. I had not really been paying attention to Alexis's outfits. I will say the ball gown dress that she wore at the masquerade party was super cute. But Sakina called out that fly outfit and I was like, that's a little lame. I didn't really like it. And then this week she had on the sweatsuit with the baby bib and then the crocodile shoes. And I was like, Sakina was right. So I couldn't go past that part without talking about the outfit. So yeah, I was not here for that. And then they start getting to the conversation of you're number one. Alexis a couple times says, yeah, because I'm your number one. And so what makes me number one? Because I know you was feeling Chris too. Now, y'all, I just talked about Chris last week for this. Chris Anthem. I'm tired of everybody wanting to have these number one conversations. So, well, we're at the halfway part, but I'm still calling it early in the season, y'all. Why does it matter if you're number one if the whole purpose of the show is for you to be bottom one week or for you to be replaced by somebody the next week? So I'm just like, y'all doing way too much, and this is why y'all in the same situations y'all are in. I feel like a lot of y'all are trying to pull a Vernicia, and that means have your eyes locked on one person the whole time you're on the show, and in the end, you're gonna mess yourself over. You're gonna end up single the way you came on the show. So I'm tired of talking about that. However, I do want to shout out Ron. Ron gave an amazing answer as to why Alexis was his number one. He said that Chris is his normal type, but with Alexis, he sees something that he could build with, that they really form a bond. And I was like, wow, okay. He also mentioned another thing, y'all. Earlier in the season, I did not like Ron because Ron gave me the impression that he could be an asshole. And also he had that conversation with Andrea earlier on saying that he wanted his wife to be submissive. So whenever you hear stuff like that, you're just like, traditional. But one of the things he said he liked about Alexis is that he could lead her, but he, however, really likes that she's headstrong on her own. So I was like, Ron might not be that bad, y'all. All right, y'all. So the next date was AJ and Amber, and I immediately just put odd on the outside of that. And it's nothing physically odd about the pairing. It's just that I never even thought about them potentially dating. I don't think I even seen them talk like that. Y'all should have knew this date wasn't going anywhere because they didn't even plan anything active. They didn't plan anything. And y'all, one thing I noticed was Number one, they were at the park bench. AJ was at the park bench first, and then Amber came next, and she got like boba or whatever it was they were drinking. So I was like, huh, did she pay for her own boba and they just met at the park or what? Like, they should have showed them walking together and ordering stuff. But if she did pay for her own boba, y'all, I'm pretty sure it's because AJ was saving all his coin for that date with Kyra. Basically, y'all, when they're sitting down and they're talking, AJ says that he thinks that Amber's attractive. Amber feels like AJ's attractive as well. She just feels like he's arrogant and he's the type of dude who thinks that he doesn't have to put in any work. And you're not wrong. That's exactly what I thought about AJ too. And AJ's like, people mistake confidence with arrogance. And I'm like, excuse me, wasn't it you in episode 1, AJ, that was all like, well, I may have dated a couple of these girls before. So I'm like, okay, now you're just so down to earth and a lot of people just don't know it. So in Amber's confessional, she flat out says like, no, AJ is not for me. He's not for me. And then she tells him while they're sitting on the bench that like, if you apply the work, then I'll match that energy. And I'm like, this was cute and all, but y'all date really didn't consist of much. I knew y'all really wasn't gonna hit for nothing like that. So it was nice to see them try. I think it just gave AJ a better understanding that, you know, a lot of the ladies think of him as arrogant and not having to put in any work. So I think he should listen to the next date, y'all. We get Chris and KG, and KG doesn't even seem the least excited about this date. I think KG is just like, what am I here for? Like, you're obviously dating somebody that's not your type, because he said that out of the past couple times he would hit her up, she would ghost him. So he's kind of like, interesting you invite me here. So they both sit down, they're talking, and they start discussing their relationships with their fathers. But KG gets down to the chase. He says, can I be honest with you about my assessment? I get the feeling that you are like 70% like, maybe it could work, and 30% like, no, it's not gonna work. And it's funny because that's exactly what Chrysanthemum said in her confessional before it started, that she was kind of like, he's nice, but she really wasn't crushing on him like that. And Chris feels the same way. KG feels the same way. So they kind of end this date flat, like, this ain't it. So very similar to the date that AJ had with Amber, Chris and Chrysanthemum had a similar date. And I think it's because Chris and Amber are kind of already locked in on each other. That is until, I'm going to jump into this date. That is until Amber goes on a date with Joel. And this is another one where I was like, I never thought about that, y'all. There's an age difference between Joel and Amber, 11 years. Amber's 31, Joel's 42. Amber don't have kids, ain't never been married before. Joel is widowed, he has 2 kids. So when they're on the date, I think Joel, he shows up, kiss on the cheek, being all cute. Amber saying, okay, if the date's over and it ends really well, I'll give you a kiss on the cheek back. So of course they're being really flirtatious. Joel is a flirtatious person. Now that I'm seeing him move on these other dates, it's not much different than the way that he moves with Vernicia. So it's nothing wrong with him doing that, but that's even more reason why Vernicia shouldn't just have her sights set on this one person when the whole purpose of the show is to come on and date other people, multiple people. So yeah, the date is cute. But what I like about Joel is he gets straight to the chase. He says, you know, I usually don't be chasing no 31-year-olds, not nobody 10, 11 years younger than me. So let's be real. How do you feel about dating someone with kids who's been married? And we get like a little bit of a hesitance from Amber. And she says that, you know, she has a loving spirit, that she would never try to replace their mom, but she loves kids. So it sounds like there's no issue there. The date ended really well. They was feeding each other food. And then at the end of the date, Amber gives him a kiss on the cheek. And why I'm calling out the cheek is because later on when the ladies meet up, she says that they exchange kisses. So Vernicia is under the impression that they kiss when it was just on the cheek. So I'm like, why did you announce it like it was something that was more sensual or something like that? It was a kiss on the cheek. You was boosting. So now, y'all, we get into Liz and Jason. Liz and Jason, y'all, I like Liz, but I do not like Jason. Jason is a thirst bucket to me. Whoever Jason thinks looks good at that moment in time, he's chasing after. Even when it was the first episode, y'all, it was the mixer, and he was talking to Tressa. As soon as he saw Kyra walk by looking thick in that dress, he ended the conversation and immediately went to Kyra. Now, y'all, he was stuck on Kyra. Then we get to the masquerade ball. He seen Liz walking the ball with her titties out, looking thick. Then he was all over Liz. And I'm like, you're just so thirsty. I don't like Jason. I don't. So, number one, Liz, you looked really good in that outfit again. I feel like, I don't know, we don't typically see Liz dressed like that. That was only the second time that we seen her serving Body Yaddy, and I wonder if she intentionally did that because she knew that that's what had Jason lusting over her. Question. Okay, so they're on a date. It seems like they're like at a Ferris wheel or something, and Liz wants to know how Jason feels about sex before marriage. And anything Liz says, y'all, Liz could have said, how do you feel about me asking you to rob a bank with me? Jason would have been like, yeah, definitely. Yeah, whatever you want. Literally anything that came out of Liz's mouth, Jason would have agreed to. Jason admits that it would be hard to wait until marriage, but he respects that. While I'm just like, okay, it was cute that you said that, I don't think that that's really a task that you are willing to commit to. You're just saying it because you think that Liz looks so good and you pretty much want to cling on to anybody before the show ends. So he kisses her on the Ferris wheel, on the lips, and the whole time I was just like, ugh, I didn't like it, y'all. And then again, after, he starts carrying her purse and kissing her again. And Liz really likes him. I'm absolutely shocked. Now, they do have a 4-year age difference, but something about their energy just makes their age difference feel much, much, much greater than 4 years. I don't know if it's Jason's baby teeth. I don't know if it's the grown Southern womanness of Liz's voice, but they are not a match for me. I don't like it. So next, y'all, we get to AJ and Kyra. AJ and Kyra, they are there, and it's a really nice date, y'all. I'm laughing because as soon as I saw the date, y'all, I was like, who paid for this date? And that's Kyra's fault. Kyra, you should have came on the show telling the people that the man's card declined. So it was a nice date, y'all. They both were feeling like nothing can go wrong, and then they end up playing a game of Never Have I Ever. So the question pops up, never have I ever been in love? And AJ says that he's been in love multiple times before. So Kyra asks, like, why haven't those relationships worked out? He says that it was a barrier in communication. And what's funny is Kyra feels like she and AJ also have a communication barrier. So the reason I don't feel like we've seen this barrier of communication, but I feel like the situation that Kyra and AJ are in is the same situation that Alexis and Brian were in the last season. Comment down below if y'all remember Alexis and Brian. Alexis would always try to have a real conversation with Brian, and Brian would do something real cute, like stroke his beard or smile or change the subject or joke with her, and they could never dig to get to know each other deeper. They knew that they liked each other. They knew it was a physical attraction, but beyond that, nothing else was there. So I feel like that's probably what Kyra and AJ are running into. That's the communication barrier we're talking about. Like, for example, whenever Kyra was asking him why his relationships didn't work, he couldn't further explain what the communication issue was. Like, what? You have to, communication is a part of everyday life, but what were y'all communicating about that made it difficult? Didn't make sense to me. So I feel like she's just, I don't know, I feel like she just likes the way he looks and that's it. So Kyra admits that AJ is definitely one of her top 3, really top 2, because for her it's between Jason and AJ. And to me, I don't think Jason or AJ are ready to love. I'm not here for either one of them, but we'll see what happens, y'all. So the next day, y'all, we had a lot of dates this episode, my goodness. The next day, Vernicia and Diedrich. This date was so awkward, okay? And the reason why I think this date was so funny is I'm gonna go back to the first episode, y'all. Y'all remember the mailman Chris that got sent home because he was not assertive and he was really quiet. Kyra was the one speaking about that with Stacey. However, Diedrich felt the need to chime in with the ladies and comment, and he said something like, yeah, as a man, you don't ever want to come off as non-assertive. And now that you're on this date with Vernicia and you think she's so fine, you are coming off as shy. That's a big turn off for Venetia. Diedrich is saying that it sparks when they get together. Venetia is like, sparks where? I'm not seeing any sparks. He says something like, oh man, I'm getting nervous around you. And that's like a really big turn off to Venetia. So I'm like, that's so funny. You commented on another man not being assertive, another man being nervous around the women, and he gets sent home. And that's the same very reason why you get sent home. So y'all, now the ladies are meeting with Tommy. And one thing I want to say is I really wish that the ladies had like a cute lady cave the same way that the men have a man cave. I'm tired of the women sitting outside sweating their hair out. So the ladies and Tommy meet up. Alexis is being shady, talking about her date. Yeah, because I'm Ron's number one. I'm Ron's number one. And Chris is just like, we'll see about that. And I'm like, okay, I'm all for the competition. I'm loving this competitive spirit. Amber speaks on the date. This is where I told y'all that she tells everyone that her and Joel kissed, but she didn't explain that it was a kiss on the cheek. And I'm like, why are you stirring the pot so much? Vernicia is obviously bothered by that. Next, Kyra is talking about her redemption date with AJ, and she says for her, it's between Jason and AJ. Of course, Liz is looking at her some type of way because Liz is feeling Jason. Liz tells everyone that her and Jason kissed, and Kyra is not liking it. You can see it the most on Kyra's face. She cannot hide her emotions. And honestly, Kyra, I feel like you should let them both go. I don't think either one of them are ready to love, so I think that you need to start over. So, Tommy asked the ladies the ultimate question, who are we not feeling? Of course, Vernicia starts talking about Diedrich. A lot of other ladies start talking about Diedrich. One of the other things I want to say, y'all, is where the hell was David? This is definitely the episode where David would have went home, y'all. However, I feel like because David, I don't know, is the producer saving David because they know that he lends them a good storyline? I don't know what it is. David was not there. It seemed like David was not even an option to send home. I didn't hear any of the ladies say David. And y'all know, just like I know, the only person who has a connection with David right now is Liz. So I'm like, why would David not be in the bottom? But whatever. So another name that comes up as one of the bottom two or bottom ones is AJ. Consistently all across the board is AJ. And the only person that's really there holding on to AJ is Kyra and a little bit Alexis. But y'all know Alexis is for everybody. So now it's time for the elimination dates. We get Kyra going on a date with Diedrich. That's when you should have knew you was going home, Diedrich. And then we get Alexis and AJ. They both have a conversation with them. Diedrich says he doesn't know like where this shy person came from. And I believe him. I feel like a lot of people aren't competitors by nature like that. So that's why you were a little bit shy. But at the same time, I'm laughing my ass off because you were talking about Chris saying as a man, you need to be assertive. That's why I'm like, quit commenting on other people's situations if you don't know how you're going to be in a competition. You got to be a very specific person to be on reality TV. That's why I couldn't be on reality TV, because y'all would think I was boring AF, because I don't compete. I don't expend effort where I don't feel necessary. So who is it? Alexis and AJ. Alexis is thirsting over AJ. She tells him, we are deciding that you are still ready to love. You just got to try harder, especially with me. AJ is fake crying. And I'm just like, AJ should have went home. David should have went home. Diedrich should have went home. So we'll see, y'all. Okay, let's talk about who we think is next. For the ladies who I think is going home, that's going to be a difficult one, y'all, because it seems like all of the ladies have pretty good options. But if I had to guess who was going home out of the women, I would have to say it was Vernicia. Because at this point in time, I thought this was going to be the day where Amber and Joel went on the body painting date, but they didn't. So if Joel is really feeling Amber, or if he's moving on to Liz or anybody else, that means nobody has made a connection with Vernicia. So definitely next week when the ladies go home, my pick is Vernicia, y'all. And then after that, I would probably have to say David is going home after that. But y'all tell me what y'all thought about this video. Look for my upcoming vlog. And then, of course, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight reunion next Thursday. So, as always, y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.